Hi, guys, and welcome back to a brand new episode of Ringside Recap. I am your host, Ninja the Ninja, and let's get started with a brand new week of wrestling. So, guys, welcome back. We are in a brand new week of wrestling, starting off with Monday Night Raw. Y'all, I am so excited for this Monday Night Raw because I saw that Brock Lesnar is going to be in the building tonight, and I think it's going to be a show. I feel like he's going to confront Obafemi about what he did to him last week, which honestly shocked everybody that Obafemi even picked up Brock Lesnar like that and just put on a show. But I saw on social media that Brock Lesnar actually planned that to happen so he can get people over with Obafemi, which was really nice of him to do, because he's kind of setting up Obafemi to be the next big thing, and Brock Lesnar's not really like the type of person to do that, so that's really shocking of him to do. And then we also have CM Punk and Roman Reigns also going to be in the same building, so I'm pretty sure tonight it's going to be a brawl between them two. Then I think I saw they had Penta versus Dominic Mysterio, which I'm not going to lie, I'm not too excited for that match. It's I don't know. Penta might, I don't know, they might do good because Penta's already a good wrestler, but Dominic has really showed a lot of progress since he's been on the main roster. I just know that the rest of the Judgment Day members are going to come out and probably do something with Penta. But I think Finn Balor might come out and stop that from happening. But I'll tell y'all later. But after all that, let's get started with the show. So y'all, the show opens up with Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar coming down to the ring, and basically Paul Heyman just telling the whole world that Brock Lesnar was distracted because he handled all the masked men that Seth Rollins had in the ring, and he said that basically Obafemi caught him off guard, quote unquote. But how did he catch Brock Lesnar off guard if he literally watched him come down to the ring? So you should have been already on your P's and Q's. He didn't came for no reason. Y'all didn't have no squabble before that moment. And then, also Paul just goes on. So, he conquered Undertaker and Goldberg, and he just goes down a list of some people that Brock Lesnar has beaten at WrestleMania. And he said that Obafemi is going to be the next one on the list. And as soon as Paul Heyman was done saying what he was saying, trying to gloat Brock Lesnar, he tried to do a mic drop, but then Obafemi comes out and does his Obafemi strut down the ring, and Lesnar and him goes face to face. Lesnar tried to do an F5 on Oba, but Oba reversed it and ended up knocking Brock out of the ring. So Oba was like, well, this time you not caught off guard, which is true, because this time you actually did not get quote unquote, distracted by everything else that's going on. So I don't know. I love how they are hyping up this match for WrestleMania. Even though I do feel like that Brock is going to win this WrestleMania, I'm really hopeful that Oba wins, but I don't know. Brock Lesnar and WWE got this close relationship, so I guess we'll see. So, y'all, the first match of the night was the Usos versus the Visions, Logan Paul and Austin Theory. And this match it was okay. Really wasn't much going on. It's a regular tag team match. Um, it ended up being the Vision taking a win due to disqualification because during the middle of the match, Logan Paul had gold brass knuckles and was trying to hit one of the Usos with it. But then LA Knight came out and stopped Logan from doing it. And Jey Uso ended up grabbing the knuckles and ended up hitting Austin Theory in the face with him, which made that a disqualification. So that was the end of that match. Like I said, there really wasn't much going on. It's a regular old tag team match. Knight was kind of like, "What are you doing? Why you do that for?" And Jay ended up running back into the ring and hitting Austin with the knuckles, and that was the end of that little match. But I don't know. Guess the Usos are turning back heel slowly, trying to get anyone to hate them. I guess for now. Maybe possibly setting up for WrestleMania to help Roman, but who knows. So, y'all, the next segment of the show, we had Becky Lynch. And Becky Lynch was basically repeating herself and saying that, I should have still be the women's intercontinental champion, and AJ should never had came back, and yada yada yada. Basically repeating herself, that she kept saying the same thing that she said the past couple weeks. But then she adds on that Becky's daughter is now starting to love AJ, and she does not love that. And she just goes on and just, I am your greatest women's wrestler all time. All the reports say that I was, and I was one of the ones that, well, she didn't even say one of the ones. She just said, I am the one who got rid of the Divas era. Which, if we want to be true, Charlotte was the one who really paved the way, and Sasha Banks. A little bit of you, but we really did not care for you when you first came to the main roster. It was mainly Charlotte and Sasha Banks. But then she proceeds to call out AJ, but AJ comes running down the ring and Becky leaves. So then AJ goes around like, you know what? You want a shot at the championship? Fine, you're going to get it at WrestleMania. And Becky pointed out a great pointer that she said, well, 11 years ago at the last WrestleMania that you was in, AJ, the day after you put in your resignation and you left and we don't heard you ever again. So she said she's going to do it again for you. And that was it. So it's official. We're going to get AJ Lee versus Becky Lynch for the Women's Intercontinental Championship, which I think that AJ is going to win this. It's an okay match. I don't know. Then we get another quick little segment with the Usos and LA Knight. And them two were just going around with what happened in the match earlier between the Vision and LA Knight. Was like, well, I expect you to use the knuckles but not get caught. And Jay kind of just snaps on him. You don't know what's going on in my family. My family's getting disrespected. And LA Knight was like, well, you're starting to sound a little bit like Roman, your cousin. And then Jay storms off and walks off. And Jimmy is basically like, you know what? CM Punk's going to see what's going to happen later on tonight. So, So, y'all, the second match of the night was Javon Evans versus Grayson Waller. And this match was pretty good. Of course, you're going to have Javon bouncing around all over the place. And Grayson is just Grayson. And Kofi was also in the corner of Grayson, but he didn't really get involved with the match. But at the end of the match, Javon picked up the win, and that was it. There wasn't really too much going on with that match. Just a little answer back from the stuff that went on last week with Kofi and Javon. And yeah, that was it with that. So then we get a quick little segment of GM Adam Pearce and Paul Heyman. And Paul Heyman asks Adam for a tag team match for the championships with the Usos versus the Division, but make that match a street fight. So Adam Pearce was like, you know what, I'll consider that. And Paul was like, you consider? You know what, never mind. Don't worry about it. Thank you. Have a good night. And Adam was like, wait a minute, you scheduled time to get in the ring to talk about Seth Rollins. And Paul was like, I can't do that tonight. I got Brock in my head to worry about, and then I also have the Vigilance problem to worry about. But Adam was like, no, you're going to go out there and do it anyway. So I'll tell you in a minute what he says. So y'all, Paul gets to the ring and he really doesn't say really nothing. He basically says he's all alone. Bronson Reed is injured. Braun Breaker is injured. Austin and Logan are both half conscious. And it's just him. He's all alone. And, and also Brock Lesnar has apparently left the building. He's so mad at what happened earlier in the night. And he's all alone. And there's no one stopping him between him and Steph. And, I'll be waiting for Steph. So, Paul just goes on yapping, and basically tells Steph to come on. Here I am all alone. So then Steph comes out and gets on top of the announce table. But he is met with the police. And Paul supposedly gets a restraining order on Steph. And as Steph is getting pulled away by the police, Paul Heyman just started talking junk about him, Becky. Then he starts saying stuff about his daughter. And then, Steph ended up breaks out from the police and ended up hitting, not really hitting, just mushing Paul. And, the police got him and handcuffed him and took him away. And that was it for that segment. They could have done without that. Nothing going on. Nothing really exciting. Just a time waster. So the next match of the night, you had Bayley, Lyra Valkyria versus the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane. And this match was a good match. It was a pretty good match. I could put it probably the match of the night, but I know there's a few more matches later in the show, but it was a pretty good match. With Bayley and Lyra picking up the win and helping their chances of getting a shot against Lash Legend and Nia Jax. And after their win, they had a quick little interview with Jackie, basically saying the same thing, like Nia and Lash were coming for your championships because we beat it, the Kabuki Warriors, and we're next for y'all in the championship. But they also got to realize they also got Charlotte and Alexa behind their back as well, aiming for the championship. I can kind of see maybe like a fatal 4-way match for the championship, probably. I don't know. That's my goal, that it will be something like that for WrestleMania for the women. But I don't know. And then we get a quick little segment with Penta and I Show Speed. And it was just nothing. Just just showing that speed is there, and that was it. So we get another quick little segment of Adam Pearce, I Show Speed, and of course Danhausen. And Danhausen making his joke, hey, I Show Speed, let's collab together and make this show. And Speed is like, no. And who are you? I don't know who you are. And Danhausen is like, his catchphrase, you are cursed. So I guess we're going to see tonight or later on in the week what's going to happen to Speed since he is now cursed. Once again, don't really care for Danhausen right now. But yeah, that was all for that. So y'all, we get a quick little Kabuki Warrior segment of Asuka yelling at Kairi again. And then Io Sky comes around and tries to, get Kairi to be a little bit happier. And, Asuka screams at her. And then, as Io was trying to walk away, Raquel came out the way and basically blamed Io for her loss last week. And basically, Raquel was like, you know what? Me and you in the ring next week. So, you're going to get Io and Raquel next week. So then, as the next match was starting to start against Penta and Dominic, Liv was walking with Dominic, and Stephanie ends up jumping Liv, and they have a little brawl into the back room and had to be separated. And that was it for that. So the last match of the night, we had Penta versus Dominic Mysterio for the Men's Intercontinental Championship. And this match was okay. A little bit sad because I thought there would be a little bit more than what it was. But it was okay. It was an okay match between both men. And of course, Dominic had JD behind him. And JD tried to get involved with Penta. But Finn Balor came out and handled JD. And that caused a distraction for Dominic, and Penta ended up retaining his championship. So after the match, Finn, Dominic, and JD got all in a little scuffle, which of course Finn was trying to put away Dominic, but Dominic ended up making JD debate, and Dominic runs away while JD gets beaten by Finn. So Finn also tells Dominic it's going to be between him and Dominic. So maybe Finn versus Dom at WrestleMania? I think so. So then we get a quick little segment with Jimmy Uso stopping CM Punk before he goes out to the ring and confronts Roman. And Jimmy basically warned CM Punk. He's like, you know what, my brother is on a warpath, so be careful. And CM Punk is like, okay. And then he walks out to the ring. So guess we're gonna see what Jay is gonna do. I don't know, it's kind of weird that Jay is acting like he is so angry, but then Jimmy is like kind of flip-flop. Like he sounds angry one minute, but then he's also trying to play the good guy. I don't know, something between them two. I don't know, or Jimmy could be faking it, and so I don't know. Alright, y'all, the final moment of the night, we had CM Punk going into the ring, basically poking the bear at Roman Reigns, saying that last week that Roman called him old, and CM Punk is like, I'm proud to be old. I'm confident in my gray hairs, but he said Roman puts on just for men to hide his gray hair. And even if it is true, I mean, I mean, he still looks way better than you in your age, Punk, compared to you. But anyway, he just goes on poking the bear, saying, that Jay Uso told me to watch my back and all this other stuff. So, come out here, Jay Uso, blah, 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 blah. So then Jay comes out and he starts getting hyped up and riled up and telling CM Punk, let's do this right here, right now. Because Jay Uso never gotten his rematch for the championship that he lost. So Punk is like, yeah, come on, let's do it. So then Jimmy Uso comes out and tries to be a mediator, tries to stop it. Like, come on, let's go, brother. And Jay's like, no. You came here to do all this. You want Roman? So then Jay calls out Roman. Roman comes, takes his mosey time. And Roman told Jimmy, he said, hey, get your brother and get out of my ring. So then Jimmy tries to console Jay and to get out the ring, but that didn't work. And Jay ended up launching himself at CM Punk, but CM Punk ended up hitting him in the face with the mic. And then Jimmy came at CM Punk trying to stop it. And then Roman ended up doing his Superman punch. And then spearing Punk, and then end up giving him a power bomb on the announce table. I swear, the announce tables the past couple weeks have been abused. I feel like every single show announce table had been broken into. But yeah, and then at the end, CM Punk was laughing that he got power bombed through a table, and he was just laughing away, and then the show ended off from there. And that was it. I think this segment was okay. It still does not top Randy's segment. Does not top it at all, but it does bring a little bit of hype to this match for WrestleMania. So, yeah, it was pretty good. So that is it for Monday Night Raw. This was an okay Monday Night Raw. It could have been better. Really, to me, wasn't really too many good matches. I think the ladies tag team match was the best match of the night to me. But yeah, I don't know. I'll give that show. I'll give it a 6 out of 10. Like I said, I think it could have been better. Because we are 26 days away from WrestleMania. I think that's what they said. So in all, less than a month away from WrestleMania. So I hope that they are starting to fill the card a little bit more and bring a little bit more hype for these matches. Which in another way, I kind of think that they're hyping these matches a little bit too early. Like, I don't know. I feel like a little part of me is starting to get a little tired of these hype promos that they're doing every week. But that's just my opinion. But after all that, I want to say thank you for listening and hanging out with me tonight. And I really hope y'all like and subscribe and tell a friend to tell a friend. And I will see y'all again on Friday. And once again, thank you. Be sure to love one another and be blessed. And mental health matters.